For Zane, he's just overcooked it. Parked that in the tyre wall. Hasn't gone in, hopefully, too hard. Gets her fired up. Red flag flying in the session. Car's been out of action for a while. Why we currently have a red flag. So is there a little more to the story here? Very close.
He didn't get hit, did he?
Zach Best. No?
No.
Was he feeling the pressure down there at turn 7?
Okay, that gives it a much different perspective because the angle, he actually had turned in a long way. But then for it not to continue, it just maybe carried too much speed because of that pressure. He lost the round. That's, you know, that's unfortunate. That's annoying. Very much annoying amount of damage.
All teams, red flag, red flag, red flag.
So with only 3 minutes remaining in the session, I've through the chicane, through 3, good. Moves over nice and tidily to the braking zone. Is there a slight light? Did I see a light on the dash there? Did he just have a lock up somewhere as he turned in? Everything was smooth. He wasn't out of control as he turned in. It was a really late let go. He was fully in control as he turned in for that corner. Nice and smooth.
It's got you perplexed, Greg. I've not seen that look in your face. It's a really exciting prospect. Andrew Missouri's, he's been aggressive, whacking this thing off the curbs and the tyres down at turn 1 in the pit box car. It's 888 Engineering, and that is in the fence at turn 4.
Not too bad, and obviously you got the car back out there, but that's enough to turn 3 on the
pretty
first
aggressive
lap.
to try and maybe get some overlap at the exit of turn 3.
So what do we got here, Jack Perkins? Oh, that's a decent slap of the wall at the exit of turn 8 early. You can look at the front wheels just protesting, not turning the car like he would want them to.
Hasn't hurt him too much.
That's a decent whack. That's very similar to Mark Winterbottom's slap of the wall in practice too. And that just carried on. He didn't actually do any damage.
The big grandstand down at turn 1 and giving those 3-3s pickles a tickle off the left front of Jack Perkins' car, which has had a tough 6 laps so far. That was before Jordan Boy's got that move done. Love Zane Mawson's fighting spirit. He just went past the pit entrance. He did. There we go.
Oh yeah, right on the wheel too. So definitely has realigned the rear toe on that one.
So wasn't a lot in it.
And it's going to...
It's always a lot of fun. It's still Brody Kostecki out front as Jack Perkins, his teammate, further back in the pack. With a whack. So,
a little bit of hip and shoulder. It's going to go on. Is he going to stay there? He's going to stay there. This is not going to be good.
Oh, bang into the fence.
No.
Out of action.
That is never going to end well.
They tried to do the Scott McLaughlin Jamie Wing Cup from a few years ago, and it didn't quite work.
He was too far back, Kostecki. Jack had got the advantage, and he dived in there at the end looking for the curb, and he took too much curb. When you take that much curb, you are always going to fly.
That was a little bit of a touch there.
Jack was a long way ahead here. He tried to give room, and see the curb did all the damage for Kurt. Did all the damage. Jack was innocent in that one, unfortunately.
And we've just gone for the first Vodafone safety car of the year.
You can see Kurt's car actually drop in behind the sausage curb there, and then the left front.
For Jordan Boys, this was birthday and Christmas all in one.
So what does he... Jordan sees it. He did really... he would have been a bit scared about getting a Commodore in the back right-hand corner there, but I feel for Jack there.
And if that car is ill handling out the back, then turn 8 is not going to be his friend. Last
wide boys in the fence.
Got the left rear.
Yep.
Now has it
cold tyres. Look at Kostecki and Randall committed.
He's got a lot more side on.
Yeah, a lot more side on.
I think Josh Fife...
He might have done it as well, did he?
Might have got
Yes,
the
he
ball.
did. Oh, no, he just got out of it. So he avoided it by absolutely reducing the throttle pedal. And that gave Ojeda... Sorry.
It was Ojeda who went wide. And he was lucky to get away with that one, actually.
And that car will not be straight. So what did... Kostecki
nailed it. Absolutely nailed the fence at turn 8.
Man, that is... Look at the wall.
Oh. Man, how is that thing still motoring along at the moment?
Well, is it?
It's still fine. He did a 22.2 on the last lap.
Is it going to be someone that doesn't?
Last man standing today, I think it is.
Yeah.
Just a few feet up the road from where Kostecki went in.
Jordan Boys.
Oh, no. Multiple car incident, turn 9. And Fife has his left rear door open.
Jack Perkins' thing is going nowhere.
He's trying to get this thing out of harm's way.
So more stories to tell. It has been a horror start for Jack Perkins' 2020 campaign.
So what's happened down here? There was a touch. Fife goes around. And 2 becomes 3, becomes 4.
And then the door closes for all of them.
Whack. Perkins copping that one front and rear. And Fife with heavy damage to his left side.
And it's paid dividends for Mazuris, Ange Mazuris, who has benefited from that one by staying out of trouble.
Mazuris just went right around the outside.
So this is in real time, and he just wasn't there. I really just don't think he was there.
Ugly stuff.
Jack may see that from a different point of view, potentially.
Oh. Tough weekend for Rachel Eggleston. That car's had some damage this weekend to fix up. And I highly doubt the Motorsport Australia officials are going to let that thing continue on like that.
No, certainly not, guys. I'm just down here at the Josh Fife entry.
And clearly being managed really well from the team. Mazuris, Kostecki off over the curb.
On his old team as well, Triple Eight last year. He's left that team, gone back to the homegrown operation.
Wow.
Hustle.
That is lucky.
And we saw Brock Feeney use too much throttle, got the car into wheel spin, and then that's it. You're just digging holes. You're not going forward.
Zach Best went around.
Best is around.
I think Matt Charter might have been involved there. McCorkindale is out through the grass, and there was some contact a bit further back in the pack. There's Zach Best in that blue Nissan round the outside. Charter's on the inside in the red and white Falcon. Just there's the contact. Round they go.
Hard to pick that one, whether someone was into the back of Charter, then got into the back of Best.
Madeline Stewart saw it all from on board in the Super 3 number 8 car. Just top left. Comes off the throttle just to wait for it to all flow and gets past 2, but Zane Morse down the inside and picked up a spot. And that's hard to see. There was cars going everywhere.
McCorkindale took to the grass to avoid all that. Luckily, no one else got involved, so there was no extra damage when Best went around.
James Masterton off the road at the final turn. Of course, the son of former touring car racer Steve, making his Super 3 debut. As the light starts to fade in terms of natural light, Zane Morse off the road in the Bremer Group Commodore. I reckon that's turn 1.
It's a long way from the road.
Way out there in the sand.
It's going to be a safety car if he can't dig his way out of there.
Super 3 cars. He doesn't get any points for passing any of those. You can see here Morse is in just way too deep.
Wide.
He's in the dirty stuff. He's off the throttle, but that's not going to help.
No, it looked like he was actually trying to be too polite to Zach Best there. Zach Best was sniffing up the inside, and that gravel trap's done a fantastic job because it's pulled him up. That's a 210-kilometre off at turn 1, so you need to slow it down. And the gravel trap's done an awesome job. So no damage other than a bit of pride and a bit of gravel rash for Zane Morse. But it looked like he was actually trying to be a bit polite, not getting near the tyre barrier, because if you get to cross that gravel trap into the tyre barrier, it's a very hefty impact. So a small team like Zane Morse's doesn't need that. So luckily, no damage, no harm, no foul. Dig him out and he can get going again.
BP Ultimate Replay goes for a while when the sand is so big and that gravel trap is so wide. It's managed to do a really good job. There's a time when there wasn't a trap there like that. We've seen some cars in the early 2000s in supercars. I know Mark Scaife had a massive accident, but that was more the drag strip end. But some other cars have ended up.
Carbon copy of what we saw in 2017.
But there wasn't a reserve down here at turn 2.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, off the road, Josh Fife. Just a bit too wide. He's trying to get back on in time, and in behind, Best gets into the side of Charter.
Kostecki
got 2 spots there.
Super 2 spots there. So critical that there's Super 2 cars that he got. So we just see a replay. Fife locks it inside front, runs it wide onto that concrete, then tries to get back, knows he's in trouble.
Best has got his nose down the inside in the meantime.
And then I think Charter realised that Fife was coming back, tried to pull it down. 3 into 1 doesn't go.
Yes, he's really just trying to give some room for Fife, but in turn turns himself across the front of Best.
So Brodie Kostecki, thank you very much. I'll take those 2. Actually, it's not too late. We can see dust on the outside there at turn 1. Looks like, and then up at turn 2, we can see a smoke going on up at 2. So I reckon there might be oil or something down here because there's cars going off everywhere. Madeline Stewart does a good job just avoiding that. Jim Policina, who turns it around the entry to 2, but you could just see that lights really taking effect, and now also lights in the cockpit. So we see a replay. There was dust.
This is
McCorkindale run wide. Is he off pace?
Yeah. He had dramas coming into this weekend where...
I think he's dropped something. Yeah, he's dropping some sort of fluid, and then Policina's got there.
And found it.
Yeah,
there he is.
There it is. And then Manny Stewart's had to go around the outside.
I can only hope, Garth, that for McCorkindale, he had an...
Now up the inside of Strong, the Super 3 car gets that done as well. So take it easy, nice and gentle. Doesn't translate when you're 17.
Zane Morse got a bit excited there because the door was left open and he just juiced it up. Brendan Strong was giving a bit of room to Brock Feeney and he got hit. So didn't really do anything wrong there. He was a bit unlucky.
We see Strong out high and wide. Zane Morse goes to fill that gap. Just tags the back of Morse and around he goes. Easy to do. And I was saying before, we spoke about it yesterday.
The factor in all of this in the...
sorry, 1 sec, Andy. We've got a car in the fence, mate.
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
Solomon Park, his debut run. You might remember that familiar surname, Steve Masterton, who ran here for many, many years in the 80s. And you can see the witness marks across the top. 19th on the circuit. Here it is in the BP Ultimate. He missed the wall that side, but inevitably he was going to find the wall at Solomon Park on the driver's right, aboard car 219.
Well, not a great place to go into the wall, obviously, but...
Or Steve Johnson when he led the restart in 2014, if you remember, in the Shell car.
Yeah, that could have been substantially worse than what it ended up being. Ex-Paul Morris Motorsport Commodore. The car named Kulwicki. Now, a Kulwicki lap is to drive in the wrong direction. He's facing the right way for a Kulwicki lap.
Only if he won the class this weekend. I don't think that was part of the plan, though.
And Jada, all 3 cars have gone out on green tyres.
Bad news for Matt White Motorsport Rounder because their Super 3 car has gone in at Skyline.
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
You always see one car at least hit this part, and that is big damage.
I wonder if that's got a small fire under the bonnet. I thought I could see something through the front of the car earlier. Now we're seeing quite a lot of what would appear to be smoke and not steam, which is never a good sign. Whoa, that's a strange one. That's a really strange one for Jay Robotham. I would almost hazard a guess, Matt, that that's had some level of failure and then it slipped on its own fluid.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is extremely unusual to lose it at that part of Skyline. Oh, and he's just going to miss the tyre wall too. So it's going to wipe the back of that car along the Coates High part of that fence. That one's okay.
See, each year we add more tyres on that side, and they continue to go past it. So one in, one out.
Worse. And then it's going to get the back once more just for good measure. Again, probably could have been worse. We've seen 2 so far today. The Masterton one earlier, now this one. That one bigger. And it's going to be a tough job to fix it as well now at real time.
So it's just the lockup coming down. So it's coming too hot at the top of Skyline. In the end, he was a passenger backing into the wall right-hand side, which set him across the other side of the track. And now a big night ahead.
You can shake that off. Here's a moment from Matt McLean, rookie. First Super 2 event, first time in the mountain. Whoa, now there's a big tailwind down there at the front straight, and that was enough for Matt McLean to go sailing off down there and just drag that left front tyre on the way in. And for Murphy, that was a full-on spin. Got it pointed in the right direction. That's an ex-Lowndes 888 car. You could just tell looking at it.
Yep, 720 in the chase and plucked the gear and kept on going. And a very noisy crowd, albeit small crowd, down at turn number 1 who was cheering Matt McLean on then when he went off the track pretty much in a carbon copy way to what we saw boys do in the co-driver session. It's Murphy in slow-mo. Gathers up the Northwest recycling entry, car 24, ready to turn 18. Blow out the candles on Sunday during the 1000. He's tucked in behind the Jayco Nissan Altima, who's pulling out to make the move. They both squirm. Matt Charter to the outside. Someone's going to have to give here, and it's going to be Ojeda.
Now careful with the rejoin. Needs to be very careful with the rejoin. Oh, handled it well.
Here it is again, inside car 31. So the 18 up on the curb. Oh, man, that was lucky. In the end, he was never going to pull that car up and decided to take to the infield and would drop himself back several positions to 7th. This is Mazuris bowling a massive wide at McPhillamy Park. This is the battle we'll talk about. The final spot in the top 3. No. Fraser is off. And that's at the top of the mountain at McPhillamy Park. He's buried deep. Zach Best.
So first, what happened here to Declan Fraser?
Oh, was that tyre popping?
There was some sort of failure in the right front. Gravel chap gravel trap, doing a wonderful job getting the 777 stops. Wow, lucky that happened there and not 2 corners earlier.
Yeah.
Where there was no gravel. There, support behind him. Yellow flag at the cutting. That's interesting. What's happened up here? Oh, it's Ojeda. For the second time today, he's out of business at the cutting. He had a moment in practice for supercars earlier. The officials are trying to warn the oncoming traffic because that's in a really awkward spot.
Just when he was making the position up, gives the thumbs up to the officials on the left-hand side. Heartbreak once again for the former Australian Formula 4 champion.
For those
seeing the body language. And this will tell us what happened to Ojeda, and into the wall again. It's almost following the wheel tracks. Oof. 1 in, 1 out. Can't park the tyre power cutting.
Rough day for Jaden Ojeda.
Oh, man. Another night of work for Matt White Motorsport ahead.
Oh, the heartache and the disappointment.
That's where the weather will come from traditionally here at Bathurst over the top of the mountain. Oh no, Brock Feeney in the wall just before the Cooper's Dipper on his first flying lap. And pretty much where the spot was that Tom Randall got it last year in practice. And we go red with 16 minutes to go. Unbelievable.
He's filthy with himself.
You got me on radio there, bro?
His last day as a 17-year-old. Team trying to get in contact with him to see if he's okay. He looks fine, just angry. That car will be out of action for at least this qualifying session, and it's going to be a big fix for Tickford to get that car back for the race today. And let's find out exactly what transpired up on top of the mountain. Like you mentioned, Matt, very windy up there. Wow.
You know how yesterday we talked about that tyre wall maybe going further down? Had that not been extended, he may have just missed that wall.
Yeah.
Here it is again, coming down the hill.
Pure violence.
And he was coming in hot, 51.8 to the first sector. He was flying down the mountain a little too much for the Boost Mobile team. And with a very short turnaround, what, with 2 hours effectively now from lights out here.
He chased it the whole way down.
Absolutely.
So rear in, and then left front as well. And you know what? We have barely seen a mistake from him.
Yeah.
In his debut Super 2 season.
His best days out in the sun yesterday in that Grain Store Newcastle entry for Matt Charter Motorsport. Oh, it's the wheels dancing on the driver's right.
Catch it, catch it. Oh, that was massive.
And that went on forever. You see the inside wheels pick up, and from there he fought the car.
You're right, mate.
And now in the wall on the right-hand side. And for the second time in this session, we go red at Bathurst.
Here it is. Daylight. Oh. And he did a really good job to try and catch it. Just ran out of road, ran out of corners. Any other track in the country, you'd probably get away with it.
And remember, that used to be raw concrete on the right-hand side as well, because where Jack Smith had the crash in the endurance race a couple of years back was just raw concrete. Now it's tyre wall, but still can cause a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Had that been concrete on the outside there.
Oh, that's the big hit there.
They're chasing the dream here at Mount Panorama. And this time it's Will Brown who's slow away. Jordan Boyce beats him in the background. Around goes Foley and into the fence. With the old school Dick Johnson Racing 17, he might be able to get that car moving and we might stay green. But it's Jordan Boyce who leads his teammate up the hill.
So there is the Foley car. He's gone to one, getting past the start line here. So look towards the back.
Oh, that was the mother of all burnouts. And unfortunately, that led to that moment. And they've taken out the 150 board as well. So something to remember there when you come hurtling up there and try and find your brake marker later on. It's on the grass.
Here it is, so Tracy bagged up the ex-Fujitsu car and then connected wheels with a 17 and into the concrete wall on the right-hand side. And his race was done.
Start line. Not quite as good as Andy Jones' burnout at Homewood years ago, but I give that one about a 6 out of 10 if we're in Canberra for someone else.
Andy was holding the board up downstairs.
The other thing to note here is round honours, and if it was to stay the way they are on the road, Will Brown would be the round winner. But here he goes. He's going to have a crack at his teammate. He's locked it all up. Oh, I thought he was going to take his teammate with him. I thought for sure we were going to get some friendly fire between the two image cars. He goes wide off the road. Terry Waihoon with
Waihoon on the left-hand side. Here's the replay. In fact, both are on the maximum down there into the chase. And how lucky was he not to get the back of boys there?
I wonder if he did just touch the back of that 49. He had them all cooking just about by the time he got down there. It was enough either way for boys to run wide.
Oh, no. And that's Policina in the fence, coming out the dipper.
That's a strange spot to have a car go around. That's a really strange spot to have a car go around. Usually they're up at this end of the dipper, not that part.
Looking the way to see the skid marks down the bottom there.
Safety car boards and flags. Safety car
Slowly
boards
but
and
surely
flags.
we got more and more evidence of what transpired down there at the dip up.
And here it is again. So see the smoke at the background already. See, that looks like... Never right to speculate until we see it in real time, but Rihanna, I'm not sure if that was just a simple mistake going down through the dipper.
Yeah, I've just had a quick chat to the team. They don't believe...
Sitting there and now Strong. Brendan Strong facing the wrong way in the S's. We caught the tail end with the Crusher Parts International car as Charter goes down the inside and retakes the position from 5. He's back up into 6.
Wow, one car off, and I thought I saw someone go firing off then in the background. At Murray's, I did. You have to buy admission to the Motor Museum down there. Man, that went off in a real hurry. He's dropping down, so let's first of all just pick up what happened up top here between Murphy and Strong.
On his own.
Does he get away with it?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Now, he can tell that one till the day he dies. Not many people can do that over there.
So there it is. Wow, just a puff of smoke in the background. Whoa, was that that throttle sounded like it was hung open then. I could hear that thing on the rev limiter. That's a scary, scary moment for Matt McLean. On debut in Dunlop Super 2. So crazy.